Hello, everybody. Welcome to Bird Notice. Billy here. Leading off, Albert Suarez and Tyler Wells return from the injured list. Rowanzi Contreras is claimed off waivers by the Rockies. And Trevor Rogers is named American League Pitcher of the Month. But Ryan, what episode number is this?
This is episode 93, which, according to Baseball Reference, has not been worn by any Oriole, but like number 92, is currently worn by a member of the coaching staff. And that is 39-year-old bullpen catcher Joel Yogi Polanco. According to an article from Rich Dubroff from last year, Polanco spent 3 seasons with the Dominican Summer League Orioles and 3 more in Bluefield, Aberdeen, and Bowie, ending his career in 2011. He then became the bullpen catcher at Bowie and Norfolk until he came to the Orioles in 2019.
Friend of the show.
Yeah, we'll call him that.
He's gotten a couple mentions on here. I think he's the new guy in the bullpen who catches the home run balls that CNL Perez used to catch. I saw him catch one, I don't know, like within the last 2 weeks or so.
Reading this article, speaking of Perez from last year, it's kind of crazy. They're just talking about the bullpen in general, and like basically everybody's gone. Like Cano's mentioned in the article, and then there's like Coulomb and Perez and Bauman, and it's just like gone, 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 gone.
Yeah, they're not going to spend money to fix the bullpen.
Oh, Dylan Tate is in this article. Like, yeah, just everybody. And then, Batista, of course, wasn't there last year, so he's not in this either. Just one dude from this year's bullpen from last year isn't mentioned here.
Yeah, Batista won't be here next year either.
That's what it seems like, right?
Oh, it's official. He's out like a full calendar year.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, they should have traded him.
Yeah, they're not going to spend money on the bullpen if Mike Elias is still in charge. It's just that isn't what he does. He may spend money elsewhere. It's not going to be on the bullpen now.
It's almost a bad thing that they've had good bullpens for a couple of years prior to this, because he'll be like, oh, well, it's worked before. Let's keep doing the minimum.
I guess he almost spent money on Jeff Hoffman, but...
And I think Kimbrel probably got a good deal. He probably got, what, like $10 million or so, if I had to guess?
Yeah, it was something like that. He had an option.
So did Coulomb. They turned that down.
How is Kimbrel doing with the Astros?
That is a good question.
I saw Charlie Morton's numbers today. His ERA is higher with the Tigers than it was with the Orioles.
Ooh, that's not good.
No, not good.
So Baseball Reference, before I get into his numbers, it has a nickname for him, Dirty Craig. Do you remember that at all?
No, that has to be to do with his hair, I'd think.
I don't think I've ever looked up his nickname before, but here it is, Dirty Craig. I mean, his numbers are dirty so far. He's pitched 5 2/3, allowed no runs, 8 strikeouts, but 6 walks. That's not good. But somehow he's managed to avoid allowing anybody to score.
Man, with those walks, if he gets any stressful playoff appearances, yikes.
Well, he might with Hader being out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's a good Band-Aid to have, but like everybody knows what the Craig Kimbrel experience is like.
At this point, yes.
You didn't have to be a fan of a team he plays for.
Right.
Before we get to the recaps, we have a stolen mailbag question from Jim Meckley.
Okay.
Yeah, we haven't had the mailbag in a while. It says, Rowanzi Contreras pitches well, and we keep Yennier Cano, who's been a disaster. With Cano's recent outings, he has shown no command, walks too many batters, and can't find the strike zone. Why are they protecting him?
I don't have an answer for that. Do you?
No, he has an option, so that would have been an easy fix. But I really Trojan horsed this mailbag question for the Rowanzi Contreras aspect of it. Rich Dubroff didn't get it either. He said, I was puzzled by the Orioles designating Contreras for assignment after he pitched well. I thought he could have been an asset. Yeah, he was claimed off waivers by the Rockies. And Buck Showalter was a guest on Mike Bordick's podcast this week, and I listened to it. If you were paying attention, he took some shots at Elias. And TJ McFarland came up, who, was a long man in the bullpen on the Orioles for many years. Yeah, he said, every staff I've ever had, you had a guy like TJ McFarland. And if you didn't have him, man, you had a problem. And I know that guy was supposed to be Suarez this year, but, he wasn't here. And Contreras is only 25. Suarez is like 35 at this point.
Yeah, he might be older than that.
Another thing Buck Showalter said was one of the keys is you don't send those guys out after they do the job that they're there to do, which is what Contreras did.
Right. Yeah, I think you made a good point too, that he had been in Norfolk all season. He wasn't just a waiver claim that they threw in and he pitched one game and then they got rid of him. It is pretty weird that he was an Oriole in the organization for the majority of the season, finally made it to the bigs, did his job well, and then they cut him loose. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, and there are spots for him too. Just the bullpen is hilarious. Geraldo, like, is he still on the team? I haven't even seen him.
Frankly, I don't care.
Corbin Martin was in the bullpen at the time too. He's since been DFA'd.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's certain GMs where if they do something like that, you could kind of give them the benefit of the doubt, but Elias doesn't have that in my book, so it's worth questioning, I think.
Yeah, he had it at one time. He's totally lost it. And it just keeps getting worse. All these little moves just keep not going well for him. So there was a Reddit post over the weekend where people are still slurping the drafting acumen of Mike Elias. I feel like
yeah, that was like, that almost seemed like a joke, but I don't think it was. That's how ridiculous it was.
Yeah, the poster was totally serious. I think there's a hangover on the Elias is a great drafter take, which he did have some good early drafts. But another thing Buck Showalter said during this interview was, quote, "Don't look 1 through 4. 5 through 20 tells you what type of scouting you're doing."
In terms of rounds of the draft, right?
Yeah, and all those guys Elias took are in rounds 1 through 4. They've had nobody late come through. The one pitcher is Cade Stroud.
Right. And the fourth rounders are Ortiz, who was traded, and yeah, that was a good deal for the O's. They got a great pitcher and then had zero backup plan when he left. Ortiz is a glove-first shortstop, kind of a Mike Bordick type, speaking of him. And then Kobe Mayo, who has done his best Kjerstad impression at the major league level. So really, if we're talking impact Orioles, nobody higher than or lower than the third round. And this person was trying to say Elias is the best late round drafting GM, and it's like it's just made up. It's completely fabricated. It's almost like Masson has a state-run media shadow poster or something.
Yeah, if you ask me, the Orioles have 4 or 5 guys they can count on for next season. Especially with all these injuries that have piled up. That was another thing Buck Showalter said. He said, when I'm scouting players, the first thing I look at is games played. Westberg can't get on the field. Kowser can't stay on the field. O'Neill can't stay on the field. I know he wasn't drafted, but I don't know who you can count on next season.
Gunnar and Holiday, they've been healthy. Holiday hasn't been that great, but he's still young. Basayo, until he got hit in the hand, but I know he's been injured a couple times in the minors. Yeah, Mountcastle at first. Westberg gets hurt. The whole outfield gets hurt. I would say a couple guys.
Yeah, there's no there's no bullpen to speak of, and there's no pitching.
You could have said Kramer until this week. Now he might be fucked.
Yeah, spoiler alert. Yeah, just Gunnar and Holiday are the only ones like I feel really, and Basayo, but he's still going to be so young next year. Like he could have the Jackson Holiday year next year, just with more power. But yeah, those are like the only three guys I feel really good about going into next season with.
Yeah, that's not a team I expect to make the playoffs.
Right. Yeah. Beavers and Jackson have earned looks for next season, but they still have a lot to prove. Somehow they've outplayed many of the guys that should have buried them. Like they should have never made it to the major leagues this year.
Right. That's true. If they could actually make Jeremiah Jackson into an outfielder, they could at least put Beavers and Jeremiah Jackson out there when the other three get hurt.
Yeah, I see a lot of 2025 is a blip and the Orioles should contend next season. And I look at the puzzle of the roster. I just don't see it right now. I know there's a lot of moves to be made, but I don't think Elias is going anywhere. I think he'll be back. I mean, I don't know what they do at manager. My guess is Buck Britton will be the manager next year, which is fine. But yeah, it's just like a rookie manager. How often do they win a World Series?
Right. That's kind of the thing with a team like this. I feel like you need somebody who's not inexperienced as a manager.
Yeah, I agree. You need a stabilizing force.
I don't know who that would be. I don't know who's available and what's out there. If I felt like doing research, I could come up with a couple names, but
yeah, I don't know who that would be either, but it's also not our job to find one.
Right.
Yeah, I guess maybe like a David Ross type, someone like that. I hear Skip Schumacher a lot. I'm 100% convinced he's going to the Rangers. Joe Girardi's out there. I mean,
I don't like that guy.
I don't either, but he's the type I think we're talking about.
Right. Yeah, you're not wrong about that. What if it came down to Joe Girardi and Don Mattingly? I would prefer Mattingly just because I don't think he's annoying.
Yeah, I think I would prefer Girardi just because he's... I don't know, though. His team seemed to hate him. Like, the Phillies basically quit on him. Yeah, that's tough. I couldn't imagine Donnie Baseball in an Orioles uniform.
Well, that's why I said that. I was just thinking of two Yankee guys.
But those are the guys. Like, those are the types of guys that we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess that's it. You ready to do recaps?
I suppose, if you're making me.
This week was better than last week.
It was, actually, shockingly.
Yeah, we got Kyle Bradish versus Dylan Cease. That's fun. That was Monday, September 1st. We're officially into September now. Beavers would reach on an infield single in the second. Dylan Carlson would walk on 4 pitches before Cease uncorked a wild pitch that sent both runners into scoring position. And Basayo would rip the first of his 2 doubles. The Birds are up 2-0.
Bottom of the second, though, Bradish walked the first 2 batters. With 1 out, Bryce Johnson, who I've never heard of, singled to score Gavin Sheets. And then with 2 outs, Luis Arise singled to score Jake Cronenworth, and it was a tie game.
Yeah, that was a long, long inning for Bradish. The bullpen got up at one point because he got up to 35 pitches. So that wasn't good to see, but he worked through it, which is awesome.
Yeah, for his second start back against a good team, could have been worse.
Yeah, on the road, on the West Coast. Yeah, things would calm down until the 5th when Jeremiah Jackson continued his wicked ways with his 3rd home run of the season. This one was off Moore-John, 3-2.
Bottom 5, Dietrich Enns is on the mound for the O's. First batter reached on an error. Then with 2 outs, Orioles legend Ryan O'Hearn was walked, And then another old friend, Ramon Laureano, gets his revenge, singling to score Freddie Fermin and tying the ball game once again.
I saw a picture of Laureano's spray chart. It covers the entire field. It's like a thing of beauty.
He's been he was good for the O's, and he's just continued to play well for them, which is good. I'm happy for him.
He's the kind of guy you'd want on your team.
Yeah, like especially if you can have him cheaply for next year.
Yeah, Ends made a throwing error on like a swinging bunt to the throwing error to Kobe Mayo, and then on the very next play, Mike Schilt called for an actual bunt, and Ends had to recreate the play. I thought that was a cool challenge to see the manager be like, "All right, if you're going to throw the ball away, let's see if you can do it again."
Yeah, that is a good idea. If you have a guy who can reliably like reproduce that play some mind games with the pitcher.
Yeah, he called for the bunt from Arise. So I imagine he's a good bunter.
Arise is crazy. His numbers aren't that good anymore, but if you look at the StatCast metrics, he has like the slowest bat speed in the league, but he also basically never strikes out. He also basically never walks. He just always puts the ball in play without swinging hard. It's a very weird stat profile.
Yeah, I think he's the kind of guy that works on like a winning team that you can kind of hide a little bit. It's like this version of him, not the batting title version of him.
Right.
Yeah, because he's hitting like 280 now. He's kind of like if Mountcastle could play every day.
I mean, different players, but
yeah, I mean in terms of like you can hide him on a good team.
Right. You put him at first base and you're not like losing a lot when normally at that position you have a big power guy.
Right. Yes, exactly. Jeremiah Jackson would single off Padres reliever Jason Adam in the 7th, and this would be one of the last hitters Jason Adam would face this season.
Maybe ever.
He fell into a heap.
Yeah. Next batter, Gunnar hit one up the middle, and Jason Adam just collapsed and turned out. What did he do? He ruptured a quad tendon or something?
Yeah, torn quad.
Ugh, that sounds horrible.
The game had to be delayed almost 10 minutes while they shoveled him off the field onto a cart.
Put him in a wheelbarrow.
Oh, man. Yeah, and then Albert Suarez's brother Robert came in to finish the inning, but not before Dylan Beavers would come through with one of the biggest hits of his career on a game-winning RBI single.
The O's bullpen was able to hold on. Keegan Aiken got the save, and they took game 1 4-3.
Tough day for Jason Adam. He was also credited with the loss in this one.
He's not my favorite person in the majors, so I didn't feel that bad for him.
Yeah.
He may have had to see a gay person that day, too. It just really ruined his day.
Yeah. Baseball players just... There's maybe like 10 of them that seem kind of cool.
Right.
Yeah, Suarez allowed the inherited runner to score, so Adam got the loss. Cronenworth had his hitting streak snapped, and Luis Arraez got his 1,000th career base hit when he went 3 for 4.
Yeah, he was actually DH in this game.
Oh, did O'Hearn play first?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at the box score now. I didn't even remember that.
Yeah, 3 stars. The bullpen, 3 relievers combined to go 5 innings, 3 hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 unearned run, but that was on the error by Ends. So a win, a hold, and a save. 73 pitches, 48 strikes. It's a good day from the bullpen.
Yeah. A lot of pitches from them, and as well as Bradish. 84 pitches over 4 innings, but he managed to get out of it with just 2 runs, so could have been worse.
Yeah, I gave him the 2nd star just because he's Kyle Bradish, and we got to see him pitch.
Yeah, after the start, he had pitched a total of 10 innings with 15 strikeouts, 2 walks, 8 hits allowed, 4 earned runs. Like, those are pretty good numbers for a guy who hadn't pitched in a year.
Yep. And the number one star, Jeremiah Jackson, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, the game winner. He's really becoming like a fan favorite this year.
I just really hope he's legit and that, I don't think he'll hit 330 next year, but if he's a solid player and ends up being a contributor, that'll be fun.
Yeah, that stinks when you think you find a guy and then you like overextend him in his like real opportunity. Like this year is kind of like, I don't want to say a fake opportunity, but there's no pressure involved.
Right.
And
there might not be pressure next year. Let's be honest.
It's true. We did just say next year might not be the get back on track season people think it's just destined to be, because we were told the Orioles are going to have a 10-year run.
Right.
Which was always hilarious.
Speaking of Jackson's, Alex went 0-for-4 with 4 Ks in this game, so not his best day.
Oh, yeah, that's no good. Tuesday, game 139. Tyler Wells, he's back in action for the first time since last April.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. I didn't really expect him to start. Was that the plan all along? I feel like during the year they were talking about like putting him in the bullpen and stuff.
I think it's very smart to have him start, even though I've been calling him a reliever for like 2 years now. Just to get him innings in a lost season. They have holes in the rotation. This way it'll lower his innings jump for next season. Say he pitches, I don't know what, say he makes 4 or 5 starts this month, 20, 25 innings maybe. I'm going a little low because he is coming off the major injury. Like, so if he can get to 25, 30 innings, he won't have a huge jump next year if he's a full-time reliever who pitches like 80 innings. Because if you went from 10 innings this year to 80 innings next year, it wouldn't be a surprise to see him falter down the stretch, which he does anyway, usually.
Yeah, right. Yeah, Wells versus Yu Darvish, who used to be good.
Yeah, Wells did very good in Norfolk on his rehab. 2.70 ERA, 23 strikeouts, and 23 and a third. So that you can count those innings too towards whatever he finishes. So yeah, he might get up to like 50 innings this season. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then just having a full off season where he can train normally, him and Bradish, that'll be a big difference maker.
Yeah, and it makes sense to have him start because, he's done it in the past. It's not like Brian Baker or Cano were in this situation and now you're asking him to start just to bulk up some innings. Like that would be weird. But with Wells, I think it kind of works.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense too. If you're gonna change your mind, it's a lot easier to make a reliever out of a starter than vice versa.
I could see him being a candidate for closing next season. I don't think it's the best idea, but they
don't really have many other options.
Yeah. And I don't think they're going to go out and get anybody. So I could see it. Jeremiah Jackson would extend his hitting streak to 13 games with his second consecutive home run game. This inning could have been big, but Emmanuel Rivera would strike out looking on 3 pitches with the bases loaded. So it's just a 1-0 lead after 1.
Top of the third with 1 out, Mountcastle and Cowser hit consecutive singles. And then Emmanuel Rivera this time would come through. He singled to left. Mountcastle and Cowser scored. Rivera got thrown out at second, but he did score before that last run. And that made it 3-0.
Yeah, they were making Yu Darvish work. He was up over 70 pitches through 3 innings.
I think I said he scored before that last run. That doesn't make any sense. The run scored before he got tagged out. That's what I meant to say.
I messed up my first inning one too. I said like home run extends out of order.
Yeah. Oh well.
We'll let the producers deal with it. Yeah, Freddie Fermin was the ninth hitter. He hit a ball deep onto the left field warning track where it would clank off Beaver's glove. He basically pulled a Kerstad where his pants fell down as he collided with the wall.
Yeah, the O's outfield defense really taken a hit the last couple years, I think. Used to be a strength. Now it does not appear to be that way.
Yeah, when you had Markakis and Adam Jones out there every day.
2110 Utah Street.
Beaver seems much more comfortable in right field than he does in left field, oddly.
Much more comfortable at the plate than he is in the outfield. That's what I think.
He made a diving catch to end one of these games in right field, but in left field he does a Kerstad.
Maybe they found his spot.
Can Tyler O'Neill play left field if they had to move him over there next year?
I don't see why not. I mean, does it matter? He's not going to be healthy.
Yeah, he's not.
He can play left field for like 10 games, then he'll get hurt.
Hopefully he has like the worst agent and he convinces him to opt out after this season.
Right. That would be nice.
And then Arise would bring in Fermin with a 2-run homer. So that's 32 games and 144 plate appearances in between homers for Arise.
Well, I would normally say like leave it to the O's, but it is Tyler Wells making his first start in forever, so whatever.
Yeah, he's prone to the long ball anyway.
Next scoring came in the top of the fifth. Jeremiah Jackson drew a leadoff walk, and that ended Yu Darvish's day. Wandy Peralta came in, got one out, but then allowed a single. Colton Cowser hit into a fielder's choice, but nobody was out on an error, and Basayo struck out, so their bases were loaded with 2 outs. David Morgan replaces Wandy Peralta, and again, Emmanuel Rivera gets a chance, and he succeeds, singling into center, scoring Gunner and Mountcastle, making it 5-2 O's.
Yeah, it's his second 2 RBI base hit of the game, and I don't know. I feel like we don't respect Emmanuel Rivera enough as Orioles fans, or the Orioles like front office. Like, why was Machine on the roster ahead of him just 2 weeks ago?
Hey, I respected Rivera last year. I said he was hitting like Mike Schmidt.
They need to find a spot for him too next year. I don't know how. I guess Westberg's injuries will eventually clear a spot for him. Just the way.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. I don't recall Rivera playing outfield at all for them.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the type that would move very well out there.
No.
But it also seems like they don't care about outfield defense anyway, so.
True.
Like they're putting Mateo out there again.
Yeah, I mean, Westberg, I don't see him ever going to the outfield, nor Holiday or Henderson. So I don't really know what you do with Rivera, but who knows?
Yeah, he's basically free. I wonder if they'd give him another $1 million minor league contract again.
Probably not, but I mean, he didn't really deserve $1 million, so if they give him a little less, he should stick around.
There was a missed opportunity for San Diego in the 7th when Cade Stroud would walk Cronenworth, then a pinch hitting Ryan O'Hearn and Fernando Tatis. So Stroud would leave the bases loaded for Rico Garcia, who struck out 3 in a row in a similar situation a week or two ago. He came through again. He struck out Arise, and he got Machado to ground out.
That's high leverage. Maybe Rico Garcia is your closer next year.
Yeah. They're going to have all these shitty options for...
I was just thinking that we were talking about where Rivera's going to play. I was like, all these dudes who aren't very good, but they somehow don't have room for them all.
Yeah, they're great depth. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like, yeah. You want them as your minor league guys. So maybe you can sneak a couple of them through waivers. I think they all need to be DFA'd if they're going to come back next season. Because they're going to have to make room on the 40-man for Rule 5 guys they don't want to lose.
True.
And the O's would tack on a run in the 8th when Beavers scored on a ground out after drawing a leadoff walk. And that was it. O's win.
Yeah, this officially took the series, winning the first two. I did not see that coming. I don't know if any Orioles fan did, but guess you got to take it.
Yeah, after that Giant series, I was fully prepared for like a 15-game losing streak.
Right. Padres and Dodgers coming up. I was like, oh, God, this will be ugly.
Yeah. But yeah, not ugly. Tyler Wells was good. He's the first star. 5 innings pitched, 5 hits, 2 earned run, 4 strikeouts, 85 pitches, 65 strikes.
Yeah, pretty solid outing. By going 5 innings and 2 earned runs, he has matched Kyle Bradish's 3.60 ERA in one last start so far.
Yeah, he got the win. The number 2 star, Albert Suarez. The bullpen as a whole would have gotten the star had it not been for whatever it was Cade Stroud was doing, who just came in and walked
Walking
everybody.
guys.
Yeah, and then this was Suarez's second game of the season, his first since the opening series in Toronto.
It's crazy. I forgot about him for a while. Except he did always seem to be there in the dugout. Like other guys got hurt and kind of disappeared, but he was always around. So every few games I'd see him there and be, oh yeah, that's a guy they have.
Yeah, he's an option for whatever makeshift bullpen they're going to put together next season too.
Right.
He was also very good with the Tides on rehab. 4 games, 2 starts, a .84 ERA, 4 hits, 1 earned run, and 10 innings pitched.
Okay. I like that.
Maybe we can get that Norfolk pitching coach to be the Orioles pitching coach.
I wonder who that even is. Have we talked about this before?
I don't know.
Oh, no, maybe we were talking about the Norfolk hitting coach. Let me look up there.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Coaching staff for 2025 season. This is an article from January.
I know the name of the Tides pitching coach is driving me nuts.
His first name is Justin. Do you want to guess his last name? I've never heard of him.
Speaking of Justins, where the hell did Justin Armbruster go?
I don't know. Forgot that guy existed too.
I did too. I can't think of Justin's last name.
His name is Justin Ramsey.
Yeah, maybe I didn't know it.
He, according to Baseball Reference, coached at Bowie Delmarva, Nova Southeastern, Long Beach State, Sacramento City College. So, yeah, he's relatively young. He's 44, 43. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, he's gotten good results down there from Bradish, Wells. So he's basically worked with half the staff on rehabs.
Right.
So
I mean, I guess it helps that you're getting major league talent down there to pitch against AAA guys, but
that's true.
Whatever works.
And then the third star I gave to Rivera. Just once again, it's the second season in a row where he is outplaying Kobe Mayo.
Yes, Mayo did have a hit and a walk in 4 plate appearances, but it's one of his better games.
I feel like he goes up to bat with like a toothpick. Like, I don't know. I feel like the bat he's using is too small.
Like he can't reach it?
Yeah.
Reach the ball?
Everything is coming below him. And then I also wonder, like, if you gave him a bigger bat, would that slow down his bat speed?
I think it certainly would. I think he's probably just swinging at, he's just not recognizing breaking balls very well. And he's swinging at balls that end up in the dirt when he thinks they're going to be strikes.
It seems like he's down 0-2 every at bat. Like he just starts every at bat in the hole.
Right.
The Orioles went 2 for 14 with runners in scoring position, but still scored 6 runs.
Yeah, and won the game.
And they would go for the sweep on Wednesday, game 140. Cade Povich versus Nestor Cortez. I didn't realize Cortez had only made 2 starts with the Brewers.
He made 2 starts and then what? Got traded or did they release him?
I think he either got hurt or went to Nashville.
Huh. Well, I enjoyed seeing Cortez get shit on in this game. So
Yeah, he was not good. He would give up a leadoff home run to Jackson Holiday, and then the Orioles would load the bases with one out. Kaiser struck out looking, and then Mayo popped up in foul territory to let him off the hook, though.
like Dennis Green, we let him off the hook. Top of the third, Nestor Cortez was back on the mound, walked Mountcastle to start the inning. Then Emmanuel Rivera singled. With one out, Colton Cowser hit a 3-run home run. Next batter, Kobe Mayo, solo shot. Next batter, Alex Jackson, solo shot. So the O's went back to back to back, and that was all she wrote for Nestor Cortez.
Yeah, it was 1,227 feet worth of long balls on those 3 home runs. And then Cortez, his bad start was especially bad because Yu Darvish didn't go very long in the previous day's start. So they were just, and Jason Adams' leg fell off. So they were just taxing this bullpen.
Good point.
Yeah, Sean Reynolds came in. He walked the first 2 batters. Vasquez eventually scored on Mountcastle's RBI single. So we get 6 runs on 5 hits, and they're up 7-0.
Cade Povich was cruising along until the bottom of the 6th when he allowed a leadoff single to arise. The next batter, O's legend Manny Machado, took him deep. That made it 7-2. Povich then allowed a single and 2 walks and left the game with the bases loaded. Keegan Aiken came in to replace him.
Yeah, there's one thing Keegan Aiken is going to do. It's allow inherited runners to score. He did get a double play ball from Jose Iglesias, though, and that would bring in Laureano. O'Hearn also scored in the inning, and Tatis would homer. So the Padres clawed back into this thing, and they're down 7-5.
Mason Miller threw an immaculate inning in the top of the 8th. I think like 1 or 2 of those were actually strikes, and people were just whiffing at that slider over and over and over again.
Yeah, he threw 9 sliders, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
not
nuts.
a single one of them could have just been like, I'm going to take this pitch and see what happens. They just kept swinging away.
Yeah, at some point, someone needs to say, take the next pitch. On the 8th pitch, they need to just be told, don't swing.
Especially Jackson and Mountcastle and Rivera. Like, we're not talking Gunnar and Eddie Murray up there. Just the coach can tell him, don't fucking swing.
Yeah, they all swung. Sean Dubin and Albert Suarez, they'd strike out 5 of 6 to shut shit down in the 8th and 9th innings. And O's sweep.
They have Will Wagner now, too. One of the many Major League sons that was on the Blue Jays is now a Padre.
Yeah, was he a trade deadline guy? Preller just went nuts at the trade deadline.
He went for it. I like that.
Like, it's very funny to wake up and say, I'm going to trade for Will Wagner today.
Yeah, this was the sweep. I don't think no. I mean, I said nobody thought they would win the series, let alone sweep the Padres. At this point, post-deadline Orioles should not be sweeping anyone, especially if you're trying to win your division.
Yeah, the former Orioles in the series, Machado, O'Hearn, Laureano, I'll even include Jose Iglesias here. They were combined 11 for 37 with 3 runs scored, 1 home run by Machado, and 2 walks. It was a homecoming of sorts.
Yeah, half the lineup played for the Orioles, huh?
And Povich got the win. He improves to 3-7. Only 48 of 85 pitches for strikes, though. But he held him scoreless until into the 6th.
Yeah, he did well until that inning where he blew up. So those numbers are kind of inflated, but you also can't remove them when they make things look bad.
Is there a way to find out a percentage of pitches that were strikes for the entire season? Is that a stat, like strike percentage?
I would think so. I mean, they have the game log for everybody, so you can do the like highlight thing. Let me try that while you're doing your stars.
Oh, yeah, I half-assed it on this one. I gave the 2 and 3 stars to Dubin and Suarez, and the first start of Jackson Holiday for the leadoff home run. And then Cortez went on the injured list after the start with a strained bicep.
I have it for you. They just have his total pitches and strikes. He is at 62.6%. 1,058 strikes on 1,690 pitches.
Okay, that's better than I would have guessed. He hasn't been terrible this year. Like, I see a lot of people want to move him to the bullpen, and I really can't argue that, but I'm not there myself.
I don't like his stuff for the bullpen. I feel like he's a long reliever type guy. Like, he's not bullpen material, if you ask me.
Yeah, and they just need starter depth. Like, if he's the 8th pitcher next year, great. But yeah, in the bullpen, like, he'll be a TJ McFarland, basically.
Right.
Like, he's not going to be a Zach Britton.
No chance.
Yeah, so I'm not ready to pull the plug on Povich.
On a good team, I might be ready to pull the plug. But yeah, since they have no other options, what do you... Might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well keep trotting him out there.
There's a world where he's the opening day starter next year.
Right.
Yeah, Eflin's gone and
I mean,
Kramer's
hopefully it's Bradish. Everything goes well.
Oh, Elias is going to trade him after this season.
Yeah.
If he wins
Get some value
2 more
for
starts. Yeah, you got to maximize value.
Mm-hmm.
There was no Xander Bogaerts in this series. He fractured his foot.
Oh. I forgot about him. He has not been great. He's probably still got a big contract, huh?
Yeah, we talked about all the good moves Boston has made recently on our last episode because the Orioles have played them a couple of times recently. And yeah, sometimes the best moves are the ones you don't make. And letting Bogaerts walk is a home run.
Oh my lord. He's making $25 million a year through 2033. That is crazy.
Yeah, his career OPS in Boston was 814, and his OPS in San Diego was down to 738 and declining, I'd say.
He's going to turn 33 in a couple weeks. He's still getting paid for 8 more years after this.
Yeah, he was never decade-long contract worthy to me.
No.
Like, he's not Machado. You know what I mean? He's not...
Right. No, this
Bryce
is like
Harper
a
type.
Pujols and Anaheim type contract, except he actually had a couple good years, and Bogaerts really hasn't done much for the Padres. He's like 1 year with an OPS plus above average.
Yeah, he's untradeable.
Hey, good for him. He's got a shit ton of money.
Enjoy it.
Right.
Yeah, so after the sweep, the Dodgers come to town in Camden Yards. LA had lost 5 of 6 coming into this game. They were swept by Pittsburgh. Tyler Glasnow was slated to start, but he was scratched, so Ohtani had to fill in.
That's so crazy. You're like, oh yeah, our pitcher got scratched. Let's put in the dude who's leading the league in home runs. He can be the emergency starter.
Yeah, this was his 12th start of the season. 32 and a third innings pitched, 1-1, a 4.18 ERA. He has a 6.75 career ERA versus the Orioles, though.
The Orioles own Shohei Ohtani.
And then we get Dean Kramer going for the Orioles for the last time this season, I'd bet.
Yeah, pretty much a pitcher's duel. There was only, 3 hits through 4 hits through 4 innings?
Yeah, we were scoreless until the 5th, and then they had to take Dean Kramer out behind the warehouse after he experienced some forearm discomfort. Who do you think throws a pitch first, Batista or Kramer?
Every time I hear forearm, I just think that's Tommy John. And so, what if I say both of them next in 2027 to start the season?
Yeah, it's on the table. They say Kramer his strain is mild, but I mean, we've all seen this movie before.
He was the last dude who was like a not injured pitcher.
Yeah, he's money in the bank in terms of like a fifth starter. Like he would have been just eating up innings next year, and that may or may not happen now. And now you can't trade him either. Like no one's going to trade for a dude with a forearm strain at the end of the previous season.
Right. He'll probably pull a Bradish and like try to start next season when everyone knows he's going to get hurt. And then in like May, it'll say, oh, he's having Tommy John. And then he'll just miss even more time because he waited all this time to do it.
They keep doing that with all kinds of guys. With Westberg, too, after his latest injury, they waited like a week to put him on the injured list. Even with Basayo taking that ball off the hand in the series, they made him throw the ball to second base a couple times. And they seemed like they wanted him to stay in the game. It's like, get him out of there. What are we doing?
Right. If he can't throw, they're just going to run on him all day. It's not going to benefit anybody.
Yeah, not to even mention he has to throw the ball back to the pitcher after every pitch.
Right.
Yeah. So this was bad. Holiday would score the first run of the game from second base after him and Gunnar Henderson drew walks off Anthony Banda, who replaced Ohtani. Kasperius would come in with 2 outs. He would uncork a wild pitch that got past Dalton Rushing, who had his own injury in this game. He fouled a ball off his leg, and I never heard what happened to him. I know he went on the injured list.
Yeah, I don't know what actual injury he had, but I mean, he was down for a while and needed help off the field. So clearly it hurt.
Yeah, so the Orioles are up 1-0.
But like many Orioles leads this year, it lasted a very short time because the first pitch of the top of the sixth was hit out by Freddie Freeman, and it was a tie game. This was off of Dietrich Enns, who was then yanked for Cade Stroud.
Yeah, so Freeman is left-handed and Enns is left-handed. That got me curious. How is Freeman doing against lefties this year? Turns out pretty good. He's slashing 294, 366, and 500 versus lefties.
Freddie Freeman's very good. He'll probably be a Hall of Famer, huh?
Yeah, do you think he goes in as a Dodger or a Brave? He left the Braves not on great terms, but he also seems like he identifies as a Brave almost.
Some jokes that could be made about that. Yeah, that's a good question because he won a World Series with both, right? He's played a lot longer with the Braves so far, but I don't know. He's a guy who seems like he's always injured, but just keeps playing through it. So I was going to say he might retire soon, but he also might not.
Oh, no, I was just about to say I could see him on the Dodgers for 5 more years.
Right.
Pretty easily, yeah.
Yeah, but I think he's a Hall of Famer. Also a pretty good fielder. He's won several Gold Gloves. No. Actually, only one. My bad.
Never heard anybody say anything bad about him, so I'm sure the writers will vote for him
right
in droves.
He seems like a good dude.
So after he tied the game up, we remained tied until the bottom of the 9th.
Yeah. Man, this was the moment of the season until the next day, I think. 2 outs, bottom 9. Basayo up against former Oriole Tanner Scott. 1-2 count. And Basayo takes him deep for the walk-off. He was really pumped. I love that little bat flip and the yell at the dugout. In the City Connects. It was cool.
Yeah, it was a no-doubter, too. Lefty on lefty also. What are the odds of that? Just 2 home runs in this game and a game that, the winning team had 2 runs.
Right.
Both against lefties. Tanner Scott, of all people. His ERA last season was 1.75. It's 4.56 this year.
Yeah, he's been bad.
I was pushing for the Orioles to sign him. I got a lot wrong this year. I must say that. Like I thought Kyle Gibson was going to be a good signing. I wanted
the Orioles
them to sign.
did too. So
I thought Tanner Scott and Jeff Hoffman. Once they lost out on Burns, I was like, go all in on the bullpen. Go get Scott and Hoffman. I named them specifically, and they've both been pretty bad this year. What else did I get wrong? I got Gunnar losing his power right. I'll pat myself on the back for that. I didn't think it'd be this drastic, though.
Yeah. I mean, you picked being an Orioles fan. You got that wrong.
Yeah, I did. That was like a. Actually, I'm going to get into that later a little bit. But yeah, 3 stars. Basayo for the walk-off. The bullpen, 6 innings pitched, 5 hits, 8 strikeouts, 4 walks. 3 of those were by ends. But only the 1 earned run on Freeman's blast. Cano also got the win. And then the 3rd star I gave to Jorge Mateo. He played in his first game since June 6th, and he made his presence felt when he pinch ran.
Welcome back, Jorge Mateo. I guess he's usually good for something interesting, whether it's a terrible mistake or something really cool. You never really know.
It's funny you mentioned that because he made his first appearance and he was promptly picked off.
He's always one for entertainment.
Yeah, we will miss him when he's gone, but it might not be for the reasons you think when you miss somebody.
Right. He's like George Pickens, that wide receiver. He just always does something weird and like goofy, but he's also talented.
Yeah, Mateo, I don't know. I always am surprised when the Orioles. It's obviously bias. So when someone leaves the Orioles, and then a lot of them seem to not catch on with other teams, which is also kind of like a mark against Elias.
Right.
Especially when it's guys he hangs on to. So, yeah. I mean, like Coulomb wouldn't have got another chance if it weren't for the Twins at the last minute. And then Mateo, like if he's not picked up by another team, I don't know. Elias is going to pick up Mateo's option. So I'm going nowhere with this.
Right.
He's gonna be like, "Oh, I can trade him," and then be shocked when he gets stuck with him.
Mm-hmm.
For $6 million.
Man.
But yeah, Saturday's game. This was awesome. The game took secondary status to the star-studded event pregame.
Yes, it did. 30th anniversary of Ripken breaking Lou Gehrig's streak, huh?
Yeah, bunch of Orioles dignitaries in the house. I literally almost teared up when I saw Bobby Bonilla, which is very funny to me. I know you posted about Griffey and Ripken being your favorite guys. Bonilla was one of my guys growing up outside Pittsburgh. I don't know the last time I saw him. He seems to keep a low profile.
Every year people bring him up when he gets paid his like $1 million.
Which is kind of modest by today's I'm blanking on the word. Deferred payments.
Right.
Yeah, was there anybody who caught your eye during the pregame? I mean, Murray was there, Baines was there.
I think my favorite part, I mean, I love that Griffey was there. I don't really know why. It just was fun and random. But I did not pick Rafael Palmeiro as a guy to get a full sleeve tattoo in his retirement. That was funny to me.
I had the exact same thought. I was like, "Ooh, Rafi." I think it's because he's had so much trauma in his life after just being basically blacklisted. He's just like, I'll
just go full rebel.
Yeah, his son was drafted by the Orioles at one point, Preston.
Oh, you're right. I forgot about him.
I don't think he ever made it out of A-ball. Yeah, Griffey, I think so we have the theory that we think the Orioles kind of threw this celebration together real quick, which Ripken's daughter wasn't there, which kind of leads some credence to that thought. You think she might make it. But I think Griffey just called up the Orioles like, "Can I come to this?" Like,
or he's like in the area for something and they're like, "Hey, can you stop by?"
He's a photographer now, so I wonder if he wanted to go take some pictures.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I love Griffey. I thought it was awesome, but also besides him and Ripken both being really good in the 90s, I don't really know how much overlap there is between those guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was the only like non-Oriole person there. And I don't know, there was maybe like 15 or so.
You
John
know
Miller
who I
was
thought
there.
might be there? I'm not like sad that he wasn't. Was A-Rod. Because remember in that last All-Star game Ripken played where he pushed him over and made him play shortstop?
Yeah, I'm glad he wasn't there. That would have been like a cloud on the event. Like, why is he here?
I mean, they might have thought the same thing as you.
Yeah, I wonder if there's anybody they turned down who wanted to come. I was surprised Billy Ripken wasn't there.
Right. I feel like he had to have had a conflict. I don't know why he wouldn't have gone.
Yeah, he does. He does work for the
Brady
network.
Anderson, was he there?
Yeah, he was there. He's still rocking sideburns.
Okay, good. I didn't see the whole ceremony in the beginning.
Yeah, I watched it. You didn't see Ryan Ripken throw out the first pitch?
I did see a clip of that, and I still don't really know why that happened.
It wasn't a great first pitch.
It was
either.
not a great pitch. You're right. It was like in the batter's box.
Yeah, at first Cal was in front of the dirt in front of home plate. So I was like, I don't think Cal trusts Ryan to make it from in front of the mound to in front of home plate.
Right.
And Ryan Ripken had to push him back behind the plate. Cal got in the crouch, which made me nervous.
Right, and then he almost made his dad like fall over trying to catch his errant throw.
Yeah, not a good first pitch. That has to be weird throwing. So what did I see? I think I watched a YouTube video with Geddy Lee, the Rush lead singer. He's a huge baseball nerd. He goes to Blue Jays games all the time.
Right?
Yeah, and he basically has a museum in his house of just baseball memorabilia. And he threw out the first pitch at a game, and he had his glove with him. He said people were making fun of him for bringing his glove to the first pitch, but he made the point. You know how weird it is to throw a baseball without a glove on your hand?
Yeah, and it does feel weird.
Yeah. So I'll give Ryan and Ripken a pass on not having a glove on his hand.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like going skating without a hockey stick in my hands feels weird. I'm like, what am I supposed to do?
I'm trying to think of another one, but basketball doesn't work. Like, you can't really shoot a basketball without a basketball.
If you're like wearing, work shoes or something, probably throws you off.
Oh, yeah. If you're in like wingtips. Remember that Jordan commercial? He scored 40 points in wingtips. Yeah. Anything else before we get to the game here? This game was started by August AL Pitcher of the Month, Trevor Rogers.
Sean Dubin's birthday.
It was Sean Dubin's birthday. They should have had a cake for him during the pregame.
Move over, Cal. This was Sean Dubin's day.
Yeah, this was a great game to watch. So because of I got caught up in the 21-31 celebration this week, and I watched the pregame, watched the game in real time. I'm glad I did because this was probably the game of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Trevor Rogers' day.
Eventually it was.
Yeah. Rogers for August was 4-1 in 6 starts, all quality starts, 1.29 ERA, 41 strikeouts in 42 innings. The innings were the highest total in baseball last month. He had a 199 batting average against a .86 WHIP, and he was pretty good in this game too. Not as good as he has been. 2 earned runs over 5 1/3, 8 hits, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Then Suarez pitched 3 innings of relief and allowed a run. But it's more about what the Orioles didn't do.
Yeah. As far as pitching goes, the real story was Yamamoto on the Dodgers, who no-hit the Orioles and basically made them look horrible through 8 2/3.
I love watching a no-hitter. I'll watch a no-hitter any day of the week, even if it's against the Orioles, but not on this day, not on the 30th anniversary, not with people like Ken Griffey Jr. in the house, like as your guest of honor. I did not want to see them be no-hit, and thankfully Jackson Holliday handled business with 2 outs.
Yeah, hit that solo home run that just got over the right field wall. Made it 3-1. I was like, all right, they didn't get shut out. They didn't get no hit. A loss is a loss. This team stinks anyways. Whatever.
That was a win in my book. Like I was like, this was a win. I know they lost, but this is a win. But we got Blake Trinan to come in for the Dodgers here, and he made things much worse for them.
Yeah, Trinan allowed a double to Jeremiah Jackson on a full count. He was then pinch run for by Daniel Johnson, and things did not get any better for Trinan.
Nope, he hit Gunnar with a pitch, and he would walk Mountcastle to load the bases on just 5 pitches. Cowser, who had been 0 for his last 7 with 4 strikeouts, also walked on 5 pitches. So that brought in the second run of the game. Overall, Trinan threw 9 strikes on 22 pitches. And in comes Tanner Scott for the second night in a row.
Yeah, Tanner Scott got his chance at redemption, and Emmanuel Rivera continued what he was doing in San Diego, coming through in the clutch. A 1-1 pitch, he hit a low fastball, line drive up the middle, scored Gunnar from third. Pinch runner Mateo was just blazing home from second. He scored, and the O's got the walk-off victory, 4-3, after not having a hit until they had 1 out left.
Yeah, this was Scott's 9th blown save of the season, which sounds like a lot. And yeah, they covered up a lot of warts with this inning. Like at the end of the day, they still were pretty much no hit. But who cares? Like a win is a win. A win on a day like this was great. The full house, park was sold out. Nobody left because Yamamoto had the no hitter going, so people weren't going to leave early. So it was still packed. Like the bottom half of the inning felt like a playoff game almost.
Yeah, they gave him a standing ovation when they took him out, which I thought was classy.
Yeah, Yamamoto. Kind of feel bad for him, but not really, you know.
I guess that would have been his 3rd career no-hitter, but his 1st in the majors.
Yeah, he's fun to watch pitch. He just looked so effortless throughout the game. It wasn't even until the 7th I realized I didn't have a hit.
Yeah, he's had a very good year. His ERA is down to 2.72 after this.
Yeah, we didn't even mention how the Dodgers scored their runs.
This was Otani hit a ground out to score Rojas for the first run. And then Betts singled to score Rojas for the second run. And then Betts tripled to score Ben Rortvedt, because the Dodgers also have no catchers. That's something the Dodgers and the Orioles have in common this season.
Oh, what do you think the Dodgers... they have Will Smith. I was going to say, what would the Dodgers trade for Adley?
Yeah, they won't.
No. Yeah. Yeah, this was the game Basayo injured his hand. That was scary. It was also during the no-hitter, so it was like, what else can go wrong here?
Yeah, that was... I'm pretty sure there was a guy on second when that happened. Yeah, there was. So he was trying to, hold the runner, but they teach you when you're a little kid, when you're catching, to keep your throwing hand behind your back. And he didn't, and the foul tip drilled him right in the hand.
Yeah, he's still under 15 games caught in the majors? Maybe even less than 10.
Yeah. Caught? Yeah, I think less than 10.
Yeah. Yeah, since the All-Star break, the Dodgers are 20-25 after this game.
Okay, he's started 10 games at catcher now.
Yeah. At this point, you just shut Adley down for the year, right? What's the point in bringing him back?
Adley? Yeah. I think so.
Shut down Westberg. I saw O'Neill's supposed to start a rehab this week.
Yeah, right.
Send him home. Trying to gaslight him into opting out.
Right.
Yeah, that was a fun win. So I did give out 3 stars. I wanted to give the 3rd star to Jackson Holliday for the homer, because at that point I thought that was going to be the extent of the Orioles highlights for the day. But I gave it to Emmanuel Rivera for the walk-off game-winning hit. You walk it off, you get a star. And then the 2nd star I gave to Lou Gehrig, since this was 21-31.
There you go.
Yeah. Some people call him the Iron Horse. I call him Cal Ripken's bitch.
Very nice.
And the 1st star I gave to Cal Ripken Jr. Just a renewed appreciation for the streak. It's the streak gets a lot of hype and it deserves it, but it almost doesn't get enough. It's like if we were drafting unbreakable records, it's like a top 3 pick, I think, in all of sports.
It might be number 1. I mean,
right.
Let's see. I'm sure they said it on the broadcast, but the math behind that is over 16 full seasons in a row without missing a game for 26-32.
Yeah, he played an additional 500 games after breaking the streak. Like, that's an impressive streak in and of itself.
Right.
Just the extra 500. And what's that? What's another 2,000?
3 years, basically.
Yeah, it's wild. Yeah, if we were drafting unbreakable records, the only other ones I could really think of are like Ricky Henderson's stolen base record.
Yeah, and then like a lot of pitching records now, like wins. Like wouldn't Walter Johnson or something have like 500 wins? That's never happening.
Yeah, that's true.
Walter Johnson has 400 wins. Does he have the most? I should know this.
Cy Young doesn't have the most?
Cy Young, 511. There you go.
Okay.
That's absolutely never happening.
No one's even getting like 200 now is
right.
almost out of reach.
Right.
Yeah, even more impressive things about the streak is Cal never even played a game at DH to keep it going. He never like sat out a day and then just made a pinch hitting appearance or like, came in the game as a defensive replacement. I know AC Green, he's the NBA's Iron Man. He played some games where he was injured and removed himself from the game after tip-off to keep his streak going.
That's so lame. I think another thing people don't realize too is how good he was defensively. And it was largely because he was so good at positioning himself and just knowing where to be. He had a great arm, but he was 6'4", 220 in his heyday. Like, that is not a small man who's going to be, he's not Ozzie Smith out there.
No, yeah, he was a big dude. So I read a bunch of stuff this week, and one of the things I read was Kyle Goon's article was really candid about him breaking down during a gift he received of, I don't know if it was Cal Ripken highlights or game tapes or something, but like I didn't grow up following the Orioles, so it's not in my blood like that. Like I didn't grow up a Cal Ripken fan. Everyone knew who Cal Ripken was, and you never heard anybody say anything bad about him. Like he's like a baseball deity, but yeah, he was just kind of over there in Baltimore doing his thing, and so I had a lot of fun just diving into all the streak stuff this week.
Yeah, I've loved him since I was a kid. I went, in school, in like elementary school, like do like reports on Cal Ripken, and like I could not get enough of him. He's been my favorite forever.
Yeah, so I came to the Orioles in my 20s, so I feel like I can never catch up to as someone who grew up with them. So I'm constantly watching I'm fascinated by the franchise. It's awesome that he's still the face of the franchise. Like, you can't have anybody cooler define your franchise for the last 40 years than Cal Ripken Jr.
You know what bothers me? At the stadium, his retired number, the like paint is chipping around the edge of it, and it's been like that for at least a year. And every time they show a close up of it, I just want to go like fix it. Bugs me.
Maybe that'll be in the stadium authority money that they're getting next
right.
season.
It has like the white border around the circle. There's part of it like on the top right that's, I don't know if it's chipping off or if like something got on it, but there is like it's not complete. Bugs me.
Yeah, who else is out there? Palmer, Eddie Murray,
all the guys with statues.
Earl Weaver,
Brooks, Frank, Palmer, Murray, Cal, Weaver. I think that's it.
Yeah, I like their Hall of Fame policy, where it's just if you don't go in the Hall of Fame, you don't get your number retired.
Did we say Palmer?
Yeah, Palmer.
Yeah.
Oh, that was another cool thing about this broadcast. bunch of guests in the booth. Chris Berman joined the booth. John Miller joined the booth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun.
John Miller just has a great voice.
I was
It's very
thinking
soothing.
the Orioles should. He'd have to be willing to do this, of course, and he has no reason to. But the Orioles should make him an offer to broadcast his final season.
I think
in the Orioles booth.
I want to say he's from. Didn't he say something about when he left the Orioles, like going to the Giants was a no-brainer? Yeah, he's from San Francisco, so he's not doing that.
Yeah, that'd be cool though. But yeah, I realize I'm kind of like an Orioles wannabe this week, just because I was seeing all the longtime fans, just enjoying the week. This was a fun distraction this week from the shitty season. Was this 21-31 stuff? It was probably the highlight of the year. I watched the video of Cal running doing his lap during the record-breaking game. At one point, he gets to the foul territory in left field, like behind third base, and he's shaking hands. Some lady tugs his arm pretty strongly, and I just thought, could you imagine if she injured him?
Right. The streak ended one game ahead of Gary.
Oh man. Yeah.
You know the company Stance? They make socks and things. They have lots of socks with like logos and things, and I have a pair of Cal Ripken socks. One's just like a photo of him, and then there's another one that's has Cal with like a bunch of his stats listed on it. And this was like 10 years ago now. I ordered them. And I was just looking at the socks. It has like his amount of hits and home runs and the RBI number on there. I was like, I don't think that's right. And I looked it up. And it wasn't. They had the wrong RBI stat on these socks. So I wrote in and I was like, excuse me, this is incorrect. And they just gave me a voucher for like a new pair of other socks, but they didn't like correct them and send me new Cal Ripken socks.
I have the solution to this.
What is it?
Did you ever see the movie Mr. 3000 with Bernie Mac?
I've heard of it, but I've not seen it. Just make him go 3, play until it's right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I should rewatch that movie. It wasn't good, but it was fun, and I miss Bernie Mac.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like I could talk about Cal Ripken all night. I really enjoyed seeing all his shit this week.
Oh yeah, he's my favorite. I met him at the All-Star game last year, got my picture, met him on the street in Annapolis randomly. That was weird but awesome. I was at the game where the Red Wings inducted him into the Rochester Hall of Fame. I sat like 5 rows below him. He was up in some suite, and I could hear him talking to people, and he was telling somebody how much he liked the stadium there. I thought that was cool.
See, I'd rather be at the Red Wings Hall of Fame induction than the Orioles Hall of Fame induction.
Yeah, I mean, at the same time, he spent a year there. He won the International League Rookie of the Year and then went on to Baltimore.
He played in that 33-inning game. He was part of that book I listened to earlier this year.
Oh, another thing, he and Billy gave a clinic back in my teaching days. I assisted with the JV baseball team, and they did a clinic. I taught middle school, but I was assisting with like the high school team. They did a clinic at the middle school that I taught at in the auditorium that was like literally 40 feet from my classroom. And I was like, I have to go get this. Like, Cal Ripken's going to be in my school. So I went to that, and they would take volunteers to do the drills. It was just like on the stage, and it was all these like guys who coached. And for a while I was nervous. I was like, I need to do this, but I'm so nervous. Like, that's Cal Ripken. And then eventually I finally made myself do it. And there was this little drill where it was like practicing flipping underhand, like middle infield, between second and short, just passing it around like in a square. And there were 4 people. And to my right, every time I caught the ball to my right, I was flipping it to Cal Ripken. I was like, this is really cool. Yeah. Also, he's friggin' enormous, so I can't make a bad throw. So that was good too.
Yeah, it's like a dream scenario. Yeah, I realized I missed out on a huge part of like Orioles culture growing up by not being an Orioles fan at that time.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do. And they're never going to have another, like, I can never be that age again either. And they're never going to have another guy like that. He's a once in a lifetime guy.
Right. Especially as a local.
Yeah.
And with his dad and his brother. And yeah, there's, I don't think there's anybody who's like more entrenched with a franchise than anybody in baseball.
That's one thing I've thought to myself, like, if and when the Orioles win, I'd almost be more happy for their fans than I would be for myself. Just, because they grew up with it and it's really is a part of them. And yeah, Cal Ripken.
I'm convinced it'll never happen, but
I would bet against it.
It's just something in the water.
Yeah, the new ownership group doesn't feel like they're up to the task. I mean, I've really soured on Elias since opening day this year. A lot of the players are just, they don't seem like Cal Ripken types, if you know what I mean.
True.
Yeah, I guess you got anything else on 2131?
Yeah, like you said, I could go on for days, so I guess not, but he's the best, and I love him.
I do have one more thing. I got a question for you, actually.
All right.
This is fun. So we know who are 1 and 2 all time for most consecutive games played. Do you know who number 3 is?
I feel like I did know this, and I think Steve Garvey is up there pretty high, so I'm going to guess him.
You might be right. I kind of, this is a trick question.
Oh, you don't actually know?
It is Hideki Matsui, if you count his time in Japan.
Okay. I mean, I guess I'd be more inclined to count games played in another league than like home runs or something. You know what I mean? Because showing up is different. Even if the competition's not the same, you're still there. You can still get hurt.
Yeah, Matsui got up to 1769, which is a lot.
I pulled it up on Wikipedia, so it might not be totally correct, but number 3 is a guy named Everett Scott, who played from 1916 to 1925. He played 1,307. So Cal literally doubled him. Number 4 is Steve Garvey, 1,207. Number 5, another Orioles shortstop, from 2000 to 2007. Do you know who that is?
That is, I do know that. That's Tejada.
Mm-hmm.
What the hell did I do with my phone?
I don't know.
Oh, I'm sitting on it.
Highest active streak right now is Matt Olson. He's at 761.
How old is he? 34?
I don't think he's that old, is he? He's 31.
Okay.
But yeah, he needs 1,900 games to catch Cal.
I thought that was the last game of the week. We did have one more game this week.
Yeah, I mean, the peak was Saturday by far. This was like a hangover game.
It felt like it too, especially after watching football all day. I really half-assed the notes here, but there wasn't much to it. Cool pitching matchup though, Kershaw versus Sagano. I saw Mateo in center field, and I was like, "What the fuck?" I wanted to turn it off right there. I was like, "I can watch the condensed game."
I wonder if Ohtani had faced Sagano before. I would imagine they had in Japan at some point.
Yeah, I would think so.
Because he had his number. Ohtani, that is.
Yeah, he hit 2 home runs and Betts hit a home run.
Yeah. This was apparently Clayton Kershaw's first time facing the Orioles, so he's now faced every team but the Dodgers.
Gano would take a liner off the foot. X-rays were negative. Back-to-back doubles from Emmanuel Rivera and Alex Jackson scored the only 2 Orioles runs. That's it. They lost 5-2. Is that right?
Yeah. Whatever. I didn't care. After the night before, I don't think any Orioles fan cared. It's kind of cool actually watching Ohtani hit homers. So
I feel like you could have ended the season after Saturday. Like,
Right. It's not going to get any better than that game.
yeah, the rest of the season is just a hangover now. Like you said, it's just like we're really playing out the string now. That 21-31 was going to be the best part of the season.
Even in a good season for the O's, it still feels weird once football starts to be watching baseball. Now it's even like, what am I doing?
Yeah. Yeah, I was relieved they were off today. Manzolino really half-assed this lineup Sunday too, which is fine. Like I understand Sunday lineups. Going to Pittsburgh games when I was a kid, Leland would. If you went on a Sunday, you weren't seeing Bobby Bonilla and Barry Bonds. You were seeing like Cecil Espy and Gary Reedus.
There wasn't a single sub the whole game either for position players.
Yeah, I guess they have a hangover too after Saturday.
Right.
Mountcastle and Jeremiah Jackson batted 1 and 2, and they set the table by going 0 for 8 with 5 strikeouts.
Hey, Gunnar still played.
Yeah. He said he wants to start a streak like Cal's. Did you see that quote? He'd be the guy to do it.
They need to pay him. Like, I know he's not the superstar that he was last year, but the way he plays, you need to keep him around. You need that guy to be the one who's setting the tone.
Yeah, you don't want to be the Pirates. You got to have a guy who's marketable, a face of the franchise, a guy you can sell T-shirts and jerseys, and who's likable and plays hard and deserves the money. Yeah, they got to pay him.
I don't think they will, but I think they should. 100%.
I wonder if he'll. I doubt it. I was gonna say, I wonder if he'll cost himself money if his like homer totals never reach what they were last year. But I don't know. Baseball salaries just keep going up and up.
If you're asking like if he hit 37 every year versus 20, yeah, that will cost him money, but he'll still make a shit ton no matter what.
Yeah. Remember there was a quote like he'd be the first $1 billion player last year when he was in the midst of that run. Do you remember that?
Yeah, it was probably from his agent, Boris, I think.
So a day after being nearly no hit, everybody in the lineup had hits except for Jackson and Mountcastle, but everybody struck out at least once. The Dodgers struck out 15 of this game, and 7 of the finals 8 outs were by strikeout.
That's fair. I mean, that's honestly how the game should go against the Dodgers.
Yeah, they got the Dodgers and the Padres at the right time, that's for sure.
Hey, if you ask me, the O's would have won the NL West this year.
That'd be fun.
They asserted their dominance, not over the Giants, but over the Padres and Dodgers.
I'm almost to the point. I keep hearing about realignment being a possibility, where they just get rid of the American National Leagues and go to East Coast, West Coast thing. I could almost just say scrap the divisions as a whole. Like, there's too much money involved to just have everything rely on geography anymore. It kind of seems like a 1930s system.
Yeah, I mean, it was made for travel, which would still be a consideration, I think, but yeah, not nearly as much as it used to be when they were taking trains and stuff. Yeah, I agree. It also kind of sucks if you're stuck in a division where you just always have an uphill climb versus some divisions that are more open than others.
Yeah, they need everything to go right for them too, which sucks because that is what happens to them. Do you have a player of the week?
I'm going Emmanuel Rivera for his walk-off and his 2 clutch singles against the Padres.
He's got some swagger, and that's something this team needs.
I like him, but he's humble. You see that interview after the game? He was like, just go up there and try to put the ball in play."
I did see that. It looks like he cuts his own hair.
I was not thinking that, but
El Poople, that's what they call him, right? El Poople.
Pulpo, yeah, that's the octopus.
Poople. Yeah.
Pulpo. That's what they used to call Antonio Alfonseca because he had 6 fingers. I know octopus have 8, but humans don't get that high. 6 is most I've ever heard of.
Alfonseca is a candidate for the Orioles bullpen next season.
How old is he? 55?
He'll get 1 year and an option, just like everyone else.
Right.
Yeah, I gave my player of the week to Cal Ripken Jr.
There you go.
The only time I've ever heard anybody say anything bad about him is getting grooved a fastball in his final All-Star game.
Oh, and Buster saying this streak was selfish, but everyone knows that guy sucks. So
yeah, man, Buster's bad Orioles takes because they're not. They're personal.
They're not like
professional. Yeah, they're kind of embarrassing for him. Yeah, Cal Ripken Jr., 19-time All-Star, Hall of Famer, 2-time MVP, Rookie of the Year, won a home run derby, multiple Gold Gloves, 8 Silver Sluggers, World Series championship. And now he's a Bird Notice Player of the Week.
That's the biggest piece of hardware.
That'd be funny if that made it onto his plaque. I was on his baseball reference page, and do you remember his 1999? Because it's fascinating.
I know that his last 2 years, he basically played a half season in each, and if you add them up, he was nasty.
Yeah, he batted .340 with a .952 OPS as a 38-year-old, but he only got to play at 86 games.
Yeah, I guess it wasn't his last two. It was 99 and 2000. He basically played half a year in each. And if you put them together, he hit 300 with 33 homers and 113 RBIs.
That's crazy. Yeah, he could have had a third MVP award.
Right.
And then I think the best part of the streak is he got to wrap it up on his own terms. It didn't wrap up on a suspension or an injury. It just wasn't like some sad thing where he broke his leg sliding into second. You had to watch him get pulled off the field in a wheelbarrow like Jason Adams. He was just like, hey, we're going to end it. His quote was, we're going to end the conversation, I think he said, or change the conversation. They didn't even announce it before game. They just put the lineup out.
Right. Was that in Toronto? For some reason, I feel like it was in Toronto.
I don't know. It wasn't a home
game? Replaced by Ryan Miner. R.I.P.
I remember where I was when I heard it ended. I was working in an Olive Garden in the kitchen, and they had speakers built into the ceiling, and it was just always just playing the radio, and it just popped on as a news, Cal Ripken Jr.'s streak ended today. I remember being like, holy shit.
Never thought it would happen.
Yeah, you just thought it would go forever, but nothing lasts forever.
Nope.
You got anything good for Media Corner?
I finished that book, Sellout, just today, actually. I liked it. I thought it was good. It was interesting hearing the different stories of the bands and the record labels, and that whole world is interesting, if not kind of terrible. But
did you check out any of the bands?
I did. A couple I hadn't heard of, like Jawbreaker and the Distillers. I don't think I had ever heard of. I'd heard of the rest of them. A few like Green Day and Blink and stuff I've heard a million times, but there were some Thursday was one where I listened to a couple songs. I was like, oh yeah, I actually remember this, but I would have never known who this was,
Yeah, I had the same experience with Thursday. I probably checked out about half of them. I've heard of the Distillers, but I never listened to them, and I knew they had a female lead singer. That was about all I knew. I still haven't listened to them. Jawbreaker, I never heard of them, never heard of their story. I checked them out. They're not good.
I was going to say, I didn't really like them.
Yeah, they were bad. I actually gave them a lot of opportunity. I listened to 3 albums. And Thursday I had the exact same experience you did. I had 3 songs, and I was like, oh yeah.
Yeah. I did also, Against Me in the last chapter, they mentioned them touring with the Foo Fighters, and I saw them on that tour. I remember watching them open for the Foo Fighters in Worcester.
I was never a big fan of theirs. I had some friends who loved Against Me. This coming week, I'm going to the Supernova Ska Festival again, and Laura Jane Grace, the lead singer of Against Me, played at last year's. She was backed by Catbite, and they played Operation Ivy's full album, start to finish. It was incredible. It's on YouTube if anybody wants to check that out. It was awesome.
So that's another thing from this book is I remember being in middle school and like the punk kids liking these bands that were mentioned a lot that didn't have chapters in the book, but like Operation Ivy and Minor Threat and Rancid, and like I've heard of all these bands because I remember kids wearing T-shirts and talking about them, but I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, Rancid's incredible. They should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I know they don't have like the album sales or, you know, mainstream recognition or anything, but they're so good. I listened to a bunch of them this week. I went to a Blink-182 concert. Did I mention that last episode?
Did you go recently?
Yeah, I went last Thursday.
Okay. No, I don't think you did.
I don't remember. I think I did. Because we recorded since then, right?
Yeah, I don't recall.
It was on the 4th. That's when it was.
Okay.
So yeah, we haven't. It was great. It was awesome. Yeah.
Is it the three? Are they all together, or is there?
Yeah, it's the original 3. The concert was great. It was. They played everything. The crowd was on their feet the entire show, which is good, but also annoying because when you want to sit,
Right.
you know, people are standing in front of you. The show ended with a flaming middle finger in the middle of the stage, which was funny.
That sounds very Blink like.
Yeah, if you had the money to do that, like I guess that is something. I would like if someone pitched it, I'd be like, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. I remember I had that live album, the Mark, Tom, and Travis show back from like late 90s, early 2000s maybe. And just a lot of the banter between the songs was just, I mean, it's very immature, but it's funny because they're just ridiculous.
I was very curious about the banter now, like in their early 50s and in today's climate, would the banter be the same? And yeah, it's pretty much the same. Yeah. I went to 3 Tides games, but that was about it. Other than that, I just consumed a bunch of 21-31 coverage.
Nice. That's good. You can't get too much of that.
No. Then we got a quiz. It's Ohtani related. It's called Showtime Trivia.
Ooh.
How many of these questions about Shohei Ohtani can you answer?
We'll see.
10 questions, 4 minutes. Which that should be more than enough time for 10 questions.
You'd think so.
So we are on the clock. Ohtani won AL Rookie of the Year in 2018. Which of these rookies that year won NL honors? Acuna, Walker Buehler, Jack Flaherty, or Juan Soto?
I think Acuna.
Yeah, I don't know this, so I'll agree. Yep. Ohtani was a top pick in the 2012 Nippon Professional Baseball Draft. Who was the top pick in MLB's draft that year? Byron Buxton, Garrett Cole, Carlos Correa, or Dansby Swanson?
I don't think Buxton was a first pick. Pretty sure Cole and Correa were. I don't know about Swanson either.
Yeah, Swanson was by the Diamondbacks.
I
think this is Cole, but I'm not confident.
For some reason, I want to say Cole was like 2011. I would say Correa. But you can...
Yeah, that makes sense with their tank timeline. Because remember, the Sports Illustrated cover was like the 2014 World Series winner will be the Astros. So yeah, we'll say Correa. Yep, that's correct. Which team did Ohtani play for in Japan from 2013 to 2017? Chiba Lotte Marines, Hashan Tigers, Nippon Ham Fighters, Yomiuri Giants.
I think it was the Fighters, but I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know this one. Yep, that's correct. According to his high school coach, Ohtani could have made the Olympics in this sport: badminton, swimming, tennis, or volleyball. I think I saw this on his ESPN
He
doc.
looks like a swimmer to me, but I can also see him playing volleyball. But
See,
I
I
also
was thinking
don't.
tennis.
I don't know how big volleyball would be in Japan. So
He might be too
tennis,
big
he
for
could play tennis
tennis.
too. He'd probably hit the shit out of the ball.
Let's say swimming. Yep, that's correct. Otani learned he won the 2023 AL MVP award with his adorable dog on his lap. What's the dog's American name?
Decoy, isn't it?
Yep. In 2012, Otani homered off which current MLB pitcher in Japan's Koshien high school tournament? Shintaro Fujinami, Kikuchi, Kodai Senga, or Yamamoto?
I think
13
Kikuchi's a good
years.
bit older than Otani. Fujinami, that's funny to hear his name again.
Yeah, I wore my Fujinami jersey to the Tides game this week.
Nice. Was it Fujinami, Senga, and who was the other one that wasn't Kikuchi?
Yamamoto. He's too young, I
Yamamoto.
think.
Yeah, I think Otani's older than him. I feel like it's Fuji or Kikuchi.
We'll say Fuji. Yep, that's correct.
Nice.
Otani has accomplished each of the following in the majors except hit a grand slam, hit a walk-off, hit for the cycle, or throw a shutout. That's crazy. I'm going to say hit a grand slam.
I would say a shutout or the cycle. You can do a grand slam. I don't care.
It's walk-off homer, so we would have been wrong.
The one we didn't mention.
Otani won the NPB Home Run Derby in 2016. Who won it in the majors that year? Todd Frazier, Bryce Harper, Aaron Judge, Giancarlo Stanton.
2016. I have no clue.
Yeah, I'm going to say...
Was Judge even around in 2016?
Yeah, I don't think so. That's what I was going to say. And then... Was
Stanton
Harper won it in D.C., right?
That was 2016.
Yeah, let's say... Oh, we're out of time.
No. That was 2018. Hold on. I'm going to go Stanton.
Yep, that's correct.
All right.
Good one. I almost blurted it out. Otani owns which NBP record? Oh, we're out of time. Which NPB record? Farthest home run hit, fastest pitch thrown, most strikeouts in a Japan Series game, most RBIs in a game.
He could have like any of those. I would say farthest home run.
Nope, fastest pitch thrown.
Wow.
Each of these songs has been an Otani walk-up song, except The Greatest Show from The Greatest Showman, Lost in Paradise from Jujutsu Kaisen, Showtime by Lil Wayne, or Showtime by Nelly Furtado.
I don't know.
It's Nelly Furtado. And that's it. We got 6 of 10, but I think 8 of 10 if we count.
We got a couple post deadline.
Oh, we got 7 of 10. Yeah, that's pretty good. We ran out of time though when I didn't think we would.
True. We did well until the end.
I have something for Brew Notice this week.
Oh yeah, what did they do this week? Tell us.
Yeah, well, the Tides games I went to, they were playing the Nashville Sound, so I got to see Rhys Hoskins, Daz Cameron, Bruce Zimmerman threw a bunch of innings in relief one game. Ramon Urias' brother is on Nashville. I got to see Enrique Bradfield's debut. I saw Scott Bluett threw an inning for the Tides one game.
Man, all the legends. Yeah, they went 4-2 this week.
Who would their Cal Ripken Jr. be? Robin Yount?
Yeah. As far as like their franchise icon,
Yeah.
I would say definitely him.
Yeah, because Molitor played for other teams too.
Yeah, without actually looking at it, let's see. Brewers all time. I'm just going to look up games played. He has the most WAR over Molitor by like 18. Ryan Braun was a big one until he did steroids.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's definitely Yount. No question. Wow, this is interesting. Yount played 2856 and Molitor's second with 1856. So exactly 1,000 less games.
Yeah, he's there. He's there, Ripken. But before we go, I think we have to have a rest in peace for Orioles Hall of Famer Davey Johnson.
Yeah, he died on, was it Saturday or Friday?
Yeah, Saturday. And then there was that crazy stat from Sarah Langs. I gotta find it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Oh, here it is.
The Orioles have broken up a no-hitter with 2 outs in the ninth like 4 times, and the first one to do it was Davey Johnson, who had just passed away like that day or the day before.
Yeah. So he was watching over the Orioles that day. That's just nutty baseball stuff.
That is.
Yeah, the last time we saw Davey Johnson, he played for Team Ryan in the Any Oriole Ever World Series.
The one I lost, right?
Yeah, and then he managed Team Billy in the All-Time Tides Red Wing series. So he lost both of those. Poor guy. But yeah, he did win the 86 World Series. That probably meant more to him than...
I'd imagine.
And of the top 5 managers in terms of all-time winning percentage, they're all in the Hall of Fame. He's number 6. So he is a case.
I remember looking at his stats, and he had like one wild season, didn't he? Where he hit like 1 million homers.
Yeah, his first season with the Braves.
Yeah.
I heard that being talked about today.
He had 43 home runs that year. His career high otherwise was 18. That's so weird.
That's kind of dumb. They view you as either a player or a manager. Like, he should get in for his contributions as a whole. Like, this, why separate them?
Is that how they do it? Would the like veterans committee say we can only judge him as one or the other? Or could they be like, this dude did both for a long time? I mean, he was a 4-time All-Star, 3 Gold Gloves as a player. Like, that's not a Hall of Famer, but that's certainly a good player.
Major contributor on multiple World Series championships.
Right.
Yeah, so you figure, though, it probably does get divided even by accident, just so his playing career ends. He's on the ballot 5 years later, but he's not managing before then either. Like, he's a minor league manager then. And, he hasn't won the 86 World Series yet. He hasn't won a bunch of games for the Reds, Orioles, and Nationals.
Yeah, he managed 5 different teams and was over 500 for every one of them.
Yeah, so he would have been off the Hall of Fame ballot before his managerial credentials came into full scope.
Right. No, that would kind of suck if they... I mean, I guess good for his family, but if they elected him after he dies, like... who was
Buck
it this
O'Neil.
year? Dave Parker and Buck O'Neil, like guys who should have been in it years ago, and then they died, and they're like, oh yeah, well, I think Parker died after he got elected or right before.
Yeah, he didn't make it.
Wasn't around for induction, right? It's like, come on, you know they don't have a lot of time left, and
yeah, they earned it. So, R.I.P. Davey Johnson. Not R.I.P. us though. We'll be back next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I guess we are day to day, like everyone else.
Every day is a new day.
All right, yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Yep. Take care. Go Cal Ripken.